So, right, let's say that I then go out there, someone goes out there, I actually take the leap, I create something, I push something out there, and it fails miserably, right? I'm someone, let's imagine I've never really dealt with failure. I can't handle it. Like, how do I get myself up? How do I try again and keep trying and keep going? Like, what's the formula for that?
The fact is not to view the failure as some kind of stop point, but actually anticipate it in the journey. So, for example, I was recently at an event and I told my son, because I wanted him to start sort of getting into a bit of selling. So I said to him, I gave him some small products. Those Kibla arrows, I think, was something similar that you talked about. And I said to him, go out and sell these. And I guarantee you, well, I didn't say guarantee, but I'll tell you now that probably 9 out of the 10 people that you go to are going to say no. You're just waiting for that one. Okay. Because initially he was like, no, I'm not going to go there, Dad. I'm too scared. And what if they say no? And I said, look, 9 are going to say no. And then one of them is going to say yes. And you're just looking for that one. And that's reality in life. Like, a lot of your ideas will fail because, we're not born knowing, what's going to work and what's not. So it's about embracing that and saying that, look, failure is part of the journey. So I've just figured out one way that doesn't work, but, I've still got to find out the ways that do. So it's about not seeing it as the end point, as I say, and just embracing it as part of the journey.
Yeah, I love that. Wonderful story, man. Like, it's so true that you've got to get comfortable with rejection. You've got to get comfortable with people saying no and it not doing well. It's like when you listen to all these stories of these authors, right? Like, I don't know, J.K. Rowling, who's probably the most successful author of all time, having so many rejections of her book and everyone else. But eventually, when they made it, it was amazing.
Absolutely.
So, alhamdulillah, that's great. MashaAllah. So, tell me a little bit more about like the middle phase. So I understand now why you started learning Roots. I understand how it kind of came about. Tell me, like, what did you first start seeing real success with that you realized that, I think I do have something here that could be really big?
So after the first 3 products that did fail, pretty much, in terms of like the initial feedback before that, didn't hit the mark as I thought they would. So I kind of classified that. I thought, we were aiming at madrasas with these products maybe. Maybe we didn't get the market segment right, that kind of thing. So I decided to aim more at the home because I felt at that time that's an area that was really underserved. And so our next line of products were much more illustrated, much more engaging for children at home for use as opposed to madrasa use. And it was an instant hit. So I think we actually grew 10x in that first after the first iteration of products, and that really gave me a lot of encouragement. Like, okay, this is clearly working. Alhamdulillah, just in the second iteration, I found it, which was fantastic. But even in that second iteration, we went from releasing 3 products, I think it was, to 11. So we actually increased the number of products as well a lot. And that was part of the point that, I don't know what's going to work necessarily. I can have a hunch, I'm learning, but I don't really know. So the more ideas I put out there, the better. And so we grew a lot in that year, not just in the number of products we released, but also the response to it as well, which was really good. So we got 2 things right. A lot of the product ideas were better, and also the market segment that we pivoted to away from madrasas, for example, to home, and that worked really well. And that's why a lot of the products you see today from Learning Roots are designed actually for the home.
Okay.